Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Start From Yourself, the first webinar of COVID-19 response to youth engagement in sustainable development goals. My name is Shu Min from the SDGs Thailand's development program with New Taipei City government and Evercom, as well as your facilitator for this webinar. Have you ever thought about that? During this pandemic outbreak, how has COVID impacted the implementation of SDGs? Before COVID-19 hit, Asia Pacific was already not on track of any SDG 2030 agenda, and some SDGs are even regressing. Now in 2020, the pandemic has really challenged the determination of implementing SDGs by 2030 for most of the countries. Therefore, I have always been thinking, we, although relatively young, what more can we do to contribute the implementation of SDGs even under COVID-19? That's why we are here having this webinar, Start From Yourself, inviting four Taiwanese youth at different stages of their career that has been working on several outstanding SDG initiatives to share their own stories and talk about how the COVID-19 has impacted their lives during the pandemic. As an early mover in SDGs, New Taipei City has always been committed to making our city a more sustainable place. Therefore, please join me to welcome Ms. Rao Qingyu, Director General of Secretariat of New Taipei City Government. For the opening remarks for Start From Yourself, Director General, you have the mic.
Thank you, Shuming. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. A really, really warm welcome to everyone. Whether you are in Taiwan or elsewhere, welcome to this webinar. I've seen about 20 or 30 people join us already online. Today, I'm really very relaxed. I'm taking a step back, watching how this webinar is going on. Usually I'm quite nervous about webinar when it's hosted by New Taipei City. But today we're so fortunate to have two greatest interns in the world, Shuming and Ting. They gave me this idea a few weeks ago when they joined New Taipei City to start their internship in the Secretariat. And they've given us this idea that while they are interning in New Taipei, what should we do on the International Youth Day? And today is the International Youth Day. I'm so impressed by how efficient and how organized they are in hosting this webinar. And I'm so happy to see so many people from everywhere to join us. I think through this COVID-19 crisis, we've learned that international partnership is more needed than ever because the world is in this crisis together. And we need to solve this together as well. And we also have proven that New Taipei and Taiwan is a society that is really resilient. That's why we've never experienced any lockdown during the pandemics. And we need to build our city and society more resilient. Currently, the US Health Secretary, Alex Azar, is also visiting Taiwan. And that's one proof we have. People are here to see how Taiwan model runs in this pandemic. So I think SDGs should be the key in building a more resilient city and society because the foundation is leaving no one behind. And I think when virus hits everyone, if we have a very diverse, a very inclusive society, then it's a more resilient society. Also, I'm very happy to see this is one of the rare webinars that I've joined and hosted to see more female speakers than male. So this is wonderful. I also share this with all of you that without some of our great partners, we won't be able to have this webinar possible. I want to thank Evercom, especially Ted Chen for his hosting mayor host trip last year to Singapore, as well as this great partnership in transferring some of their great interns to New Taipei City this year. There are two people I want to thank, especially Ted and Flora. And you don't need to listen from me anymore because I'm here taking a back seat. Listen to you. The world, the platform, the future is in your hands. Thank you, Shuming.
Thank you very much, Director General, for sharing the latest COVID-19 response to SDG initiative with us. As a student from National Taipei University in New Taipei City, I'm glad to see the impact of the pandemic has been minimized and therefore enable us to have a platform to work on SDGs in New Taipei City. Before we move on to the next part, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a group photo here. Please turn your camera on and share your biggest smile with us on webcam. 3, 2, 1. Great. Glad to see everybody showing up in the webinar. Thank you. Now let's move on to welcome our 4 youth panelists. We have Yan Ting from Avricon as Taiwanese youth professional working in overseas sustainability startup. Zhao Jingting, also from SDG Thailand's development program, joined us as a Taiwanese university student. Chen Yuan from Skyline as Taiwanese intern working in local social enterprise, and Zhang Wei, who has founded an outstanding local social enterprise, DASA. As a start, ladies and gentlemen, please join me to welcome Yan Ting. Yan Ting is head of finance in Avricon Singapore. He has extensive experience working with governments like in Singapore, Thailand, Dubai, and Taiwan, as well as international organizations such as UNDP and Asia Development Bank on applying digital solutions in alignment to driving local sustainability mandates. Let's welcome Yan Ting, and please introduce yourself to the audience as well as your connection to New Taipei City. You have the mic.
Hello. Hi. Thank you, Shumei. And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ting. I'm the head of finance of Avricon Singapore. I'm very proud and honored to be here, to speak in this webinar. So in case of my connection with New Taipei City is starting from 3 years ago, is when I was serving my substitute military service in one of the biggest nursing home called Taipei City in New Taipei City, as well as in Taiwan. And after discharging, then I move on to join Evercom. I started my sustainability journey throughout the rest of the period. So a little bit about Evercom is we're an energy AI startup accredited by Singapore government. And what we do is we leverage on digital solutions like artificial intelligence and IoT to help governments and enterprises transit towards a net zero operations. And as Shuming introduced, I'm leading a few initiatives with several local governments, such as Singapore government, Dubai government, Thai government, and now with New Taipei City government, as well as several collaboration with international organizations such as United Nations, UNDP, and Asian Development Bank. Yeah, that's a little about me.
Your overseas experience is amazing. As you said, you are currently works in Avricon, a sustainability company in Singapore. Here, could you please tell us more about it and also talk about how Avricon has been affected by the COVID-19, please?
Okay, well, in case of the impact of COVID-19, I'd like to talk about this in two parts. So first, at the business level, yes, indeed, COVID-19 has caused some impact on us because as everyone knows, is most of our customers, our main customers coming from the hospitality industry, especially for hotels and shopping malls and all these commercial buildings. And hospitality industry has been affected seriously because of all the travel restriction that stopped the travelers from traveling around the world. And even if the customers are not coming from hospitality industry, now in the current climate of COVID-19, energy efficiency or these kind of decarbonization is not really people's attention at the moment. Feels like people are more focusing on preventing like the coronavirus from spreading. So that's why we definitely have to look for new revenue opportunities and new different kinds of solutions to navigate through this period. And personally, as for me, is before coming back to Taiwan in March, is around from January to March, I was personally in Dubai and joining the Dubai Future Accelerator. Feels like we're invited by Dubai government out of around like hundreds of applicants. And in Dubai, we have a lot of business opportunities there while working with the local government. But unfortunately, as everyone now, the outbreak of COVID-19 has just stopped everything like this. So we were forced to go back to our country and shift everything like to a more online mode. So we have to do meetings, we have to do business introductions all through webinars or like online, like all through con calls and so on. So for me, is at the beginning, it's definitely frustrating for this because like I like to talk to people and talk to people to feel their true like real emotion. But I think after COVID-19 outbreak, this is definitely a new normal for everyone. So like as for me or as for anyone else, I think we should try to get used to the new normal after the COVID-19. It's like helping us to build back the city and even to build back the city even like better than before the COVID-19 outbreak. Yes.
That's cool. It's like Evercon has not only gone over the difficulty, but also turned the pandemic crisis into opportunities. So I'm wondering what's the next step for Evercom and yourself?
Okay, so I would talk about this in two parts as well. So in case of business collaboration is, for this period, we have seen a surge in demand for us to asking for a digital solution to help customers to manage their equipment assets and equipment operations remotely because of the COVID-19 restrictions, such as social distancing, travel restrictions, and so on. That's stopping them from going on site physically to manage these equipment. So therefore, we're just trying to deploy our solution in a more like a remote digital assistant. So which is a virtual assistant that helps to service all these customers' requirements by using like a digital way and for people to interact and to manage their equipment, like equipment operation remotely, like without physically going on site. So these are the business initiatives we're doing. And also at a personal level is while I was working with Singapore and Dubai and Thailand government on all these international exposures and initiatives on SDG, I've always been thinking how I can let more Taiwanese youth to have the same exposure as me as well. In other words, is I try to make international exposure like readily available for most of the people. Is not a privilege for those who are coming from a very wealthy background or from a very different educational background. So that's why the collaboration with New Taipei City this year is definitely making this happening. Because for us is by working with New Taipei City government, we have started the first SDG talent development program with international affairs divisions. So we're inviting university students like Ting Ting and Shu Ming here and joining us while we're doing like some local projects with NTC government here. They can be directly involved on all these hands-on sustainability exposures directly in their home country. And when they have prepared themselves, and when we have other like international initiatives, for example, with other governments or even international organizations such as UN or ADB and so on, these selected university students will have the exposure and will be competent at that time to transit towards from a city level initiative to ready to work on nation level initiative. So in other words is when working with UN is I hope all these UN initiatives can give Taiwanese youth like a platform for these youth to show themselves and showcase themselves that all the Taiwanese youth are competent and are definitely doing a good job when it comes to sustainability and SDG implementation. Yeah, so these are a few initiatives we're going to do after the pandemic. Thank you.
Wow, it's really touching that during the pandemic, there's still a company like Evercom, people like you, keeping working on sustainability, always taking care of SDGs. Thank you for sharing your wonderful experience about working in overseas sustainability startup, and also let us learn more about Evercom. Thank you.
My pleasure.
And for the next youth panelist, ladies and gentlemen, please join me to welcome Zhao Tingting, a junior class student from National Taipei University. Currently involved in the first SDG Thailand's development program as youth intern. COVID-19 has interrupted her curriculum schedule, overseas internship opportunities, and even post-graduation career plan. However, she chose to flip the situation and now participate in this program, working with local governments directly on several youth initiatives in SDGs. First of all, Tintin, please give a brief introduction of yourself to the audience and your connection to New Taipei City. You have the mic.
Good afternoon, Shuming and everyone. I am Ting Ting, currently a junior class student major in leisure and sports management in National Taipei University in New Taipei City. I'm a big fan of water sport, especially diving. Swimming with this adorable underwater creature is the best part of it, and it is why I pay additional attention to the ocean issue and commit myself into the marine ecological protection. Last summer vacation, I worked for a coral reef travel agency in Penghu as a snorkeling instructor, and that is the start of my SDG journey. While introducing beautiful ocean environments and teaching our customer water sports skills such as wakeboarding and snorkeling, we focus on educating our customer the correct knowledge of marine ecological protection, such as not using chemical sunscreen that are toxic to the ocean ecology. Even after my summer vacation, I still share the experience with my friends to innovate them to protect our precious ocean together while enjoying the excitement of water sports. To understand more on SDG, I'm attracted by internship opportunity from Evercom that gave me exposure to work with Singapore and Thailand government on SDG implementation locally. This internship opportunity caught my attention not only because of the overseas experience, but also the real experience working on SDG with the government to get the together. I got the internship, but as you know, it has been canceled due to the COVID-19. Although the internship was interrupted, New Taipei City gave me another opportunity to join the SDG project locally in Taiwan. So now I am a member of the first SDG Youth Development Program in New Taipei City, and I'm working on making our city a more sustainable place.
It's cool. You really love water sports. And even take action to protect the ocean is very important to preserve the nature as you do. So, Tintin, how has COVID-19 affected your plan and how did you adjust yourself in this situation?
So my original plan was like this. This summer vacation, I'll go to Thailand for 2 months overseas internship with Evercom in Thailand, working with foreigner talent in a foreigner environment, providing me the best exposure before going to spend for a 1-year student exchange program. And after I come back, I'll graduate within time and start my career planning. But with the outbreak of the pandemic, all overseas activities were forced to stop. And I cannot go to Thailand nor Spain due to the travel restriction of COVID-19 outbreak. As soon as I realized that there is no possibility that I can go abroad this summer, I started looking for other internship opportunity. Hope to find an opportunity that could still increase my exposure in SDG. And however, most companies canceled their internship program due to the impact of COVID-19. When I was eager to look for opportunity, I was contacted by Evercom and invited to join the first SDG Youth Development Program in New Taipei City, working with New Taipei City government directly on several youth programs in SDG and to bring SDG back on track in my country. Since COVID seriously affects the progress of SDG around the world, for the past few weeks, our several mission was to understand the extent of the impact. As a result, we have to work with the Economic Development Department to study more on relief packages for the youth and the local SME to mitigate the impact, and visit the Smart Energy Management Center in New Taipei City government. Upon getting a better understanding on the importance of SDG, we decided to organize this webinar. Hope that through this webinar, we can not only share more youth initiative to people as part of COVID-19 response to SDG, but we also hope that these sharing can arouse more youth to participate and inspire them to take part in SDG.
It's great to see that you adjust yourself well. And now even engage in SDGs program with patients. I hope that your sharing can arouse more youth inspiration to take part in SDGs and have bigger influence. And here, could you tell us more about your future plan with New Taipei City and Evercom, please?
Learning from New Taipei City government that as the most popular city in Taiwan, and New Taipei City government is going to introduce a series of COVID-19 response to SDG activities. And I'm proud of being engaged in the response. And as a start, we will try to get more university to be involved in SDG. Therefore, the webinar Start From Yourself is targeting to inspire more youth talent in Taiwan for a larger scale SDG initiative. While expanding the scale of our webinar by invited youth from ASEAN to join the next few webinar series as a region initiative to showcase that youth engagement in SDG, and hope to inspire the youth from other Asian countries to reach the SDG goal in 2030 together. And these youth will be the best base of city-level SDG project in an initiative. Take Suming and I as an example. We're going to play a role of data agent, collecting and generate the fundamental information for sustainability mandates, started from New Taipei City, the place where we both are familiar with. And I am excited to have the opportunity to collect fundamental information in person and look forward to interesting finding in the process. This fundamental information will be the basis of the first COVID-19 response to SDG documentation with International Affairs Division. And I cannot wait to work with these exciting projects, sharing that what we have come up with and show the outcome of the world that Taiwanese youth can help. So please stay tuned.
I'm also looking forward to playing the role of data agent. Through more promotion of the idea, hope more people can join us as data agents to collect the data from the place they are familiar with. Let's make the data powerful. Thanks for your sharing, letting us know that you can do more than you thought, even as a student. Hope your story will inspire more Taiwanese students like you and me.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to the next panelist, Chen Yuan. Yuan plays dual roles as a student in National Zhengzhi University and also a project manager in Skyline, an organization located in New Taipei City and committed to eliminating the inefficient dissemination of global opportunities through a free and diverse platform. During COVID-19 outbreak, Yuan has explored different online opportunities to connect Taiwan youth to international exposures. Let's welcome Yuan. Please introduce yourself and Skyline to the audience as well as your connection to New Taipei City. You have the mic.
Hi everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Yuan. As a project manager from Skyline, it's my honor to attend the webinar, and I'm looking forward to sharing Skyline experience and exchanging insight with other panelists. Okay, I am the senior student from Department of Slavic Language and Literature, and we study Russian as a main language because the webinar is held by the New Taipei City, so I wanna share the connection between me and New Taipei City. I was born in Zhonghe and I studied in Yonghe until high school. And this year, though my college is in Taipei City, I traveled to different districts in New Taipei City around the North Coast this year, and I hope I can keep seeking the beauty of New Taipei City in the future. And I have followed the social innovation issue for a long time, especially in education and gender issues. And I used to attend the social innovative related club in college. In my opinion, SDGs not only related to social enterprise, but also exist in many parts of our life. And I want to share the COVID-19 impact on me because I postponed the exchange plan to Lithuania. And you may wonder where is it. Actually, it is one of the country of the Baltic state, and it was controlled by the Soviet Union. Though I'm not sure whether I can finish the exchange plan or not, and I still hope the COVID-19 will disappear as soon as possible. And that's end of my self-introduction.
I'm really happy for you that you have this opportunity to work in Skyline and learn a lot of things from the internship. And here, as I know, Skyline has also made a lot of effort on SDGs and during the pandemics. Skyline even find more opportunities for Taiwanese youth to learn from distance, like building a e-learning package, including language learning, commercial knowledge, and so on. Could you please give us more detail on it?
Okay, I want to introduce Skyline first. This is our slogan, Empower Youth with a Splendid Future. And we are a platform to spread international opportunity widely in Taiwan. And we also translate the information into Chinese version. In this year, we have promoted over thousands opportunity around the globe. And we have online operation with official website, blog, Facebook, and Instagram. And this our offline operation. We have many domestic lecturers who will stand for Taiwan to share their professional insight and experience. And we also have lots of international projects, though because of COVID-19, this project also be postponed. And I want to share the connection between SDG and Skyline. The first is the quality education. We provide many overseas internships in order to encourage Taiwanese people to apply for the better university. Second is a decent work and economic growth. Not only scholarship and competition for students, we also provide jobs and internship. With the flow of the talented people, economic growth is boosting. And the third one is we reduce inequality. It is apparent that resources between Taipei and other universities are unequal, not to mention the inequality between Taiwan and the global. So Skyline goal is to reduce it and connect the bridge between youth and global opportunity. Last but not least is a partnership for the global. With the Chinese version of the overseas opportunity, we connect the global partnership. And by the way, we also at the beginning of the COVID-19, we also wrote letter to the institution on our website. And I want to share the COVID-19 impact on Skyline. The first one is a negative one because Taiwanese students are afraid and not willing to participate in overseas activity. And the second is our overseas visiting project is canceled, and it's hard for us to develop new project in Singapore and Thailand this summer. Last is we have less overseas opportunity. But look at the bright side, it also has a positive impact. First, we have more time to rethink our position in the market and consider what we can do for the youth in Taiwan. Second is we develop the subsidiary brand horizon. We hold various types of lecture, including online courses, online sharing, so that people who are afraid to go to public places can keep learning at home. And the last one is we provide free e-learning courses package, and I will introduce you in the next page. We have many free e-learning courses package from language. The first one is language. You can preparing TOEFL and IELTS at home. And the second one is we have a lot of famous foreign university like Harvard, UCLA, MIT courses, and you can also apply it for certificate of credits. And the last one is you can learn business courses like email writing and entrepreneurship courses from Microsoft and Intel. And what is our next operation in the future and new initiative towards SDGs in post-COVID-19? First, we will keep providing overseas opportunity and global company internship in Taiwan. And the second, we will keep holding lecture and providing e-learning package. And the last one is a secret project. We will launch a mentorship project called Flying Mentor that students can ask for professional advice and consult that career plan with a mentor who has rich overseas experience. Yeah, this end of my sharing, and you can use this method to contact Skyline. Thanks.
I think now many people must be curious about the skyline and going to check it soon. Well done, Yuan. Great to hear that yourself and Skyline's commitment in making education readily available for many youth in Taiwan. Thanks for clearly sharing the information to the audience. Skyline really provides abundant resources for learning during the pandemics. It's so helpful to have the learning material at home. Once again, thank you, Yuan, very much for sharing your experience and introducing Skyline to the audience. Now, the last speaker is a co-founder of Zaza, Zhang Wei. Zhang Wei is a photographer and marketing consultant. Because of promise with several Cambodia kids 10 years ago, Zhang Wei and a few friends co-founded Zaza, empowering the children in need with their camera to document their own unique story and share with the world. Zaza was invited in 外交暖实力 and became one of the 12 mobile diplomatic organizations representing Taiwan. But unfortunately, she is not able to join us personally today. But she is still keen to share her story and Zaza through a pre-recording video. Here it is.
Hi, hello everyone. I'm Zaza's founder. You can call me Carrie Zhang. I'm so sorry today I can't join the real online meeting, so I prepared this video. I want to share with you. Zaza is a non-profit organization in Cambodia. In general time, we prepare some photography education program for Cambodia's rural areas children. But during the COVID-19 time, we run a new project. It calls Emergency Supporting Project. Because in Cambodia, a lot of people lose their job during this time. So we hire some young people, they lose their job, to buy some white rice and support the poor family. And in this program, we co-work with some local nonprofit organization. Why we do this kind of things in this way? We have two reasons. On the one hand, we want to support the poor family can survive, and on the other hand, we want to just stand up with the local team and local people. We don't want to be a like helper or like supporter. We want to be their friend and empower them and just survive and stand up with everybody. And today we prepared a short video, want to share with you, so please enjoy it. Bye bye.
During the pandemic outbreak, Zhang Wei initiated Zaza COVID-19 support project through crowdfunding platform, sending resources to Cambodia to support children victims suffered during the pandemic. Following is the video about Zaza COVID-19 support project.
我想邀请你安静一下你的心，张开双眼，好好的看一下这一系列的照片。观察一下它的颜色，观察一下它的构图，观察一下你内心有没有一个小小的小孩，在看到这些照片的时候，他有什么感觉呢？我希望这一系列的照片可以带领你进入一个更深层、更未知的世界里。可能很难相信，其实这一系列的作品是有一群就是年纪大概是5到15岁的柬埔寨偏乡的小小摄影师们所拍摄的。他们所处的地方是一个没水没电的小村庄，然后但是他们有很纯真的双眼，然后有很独特的观察这个世界的视角。这个村庄许多偏乡的孩子，他们大概没到15岁的时候就会中断学业，然后到泰国变成非法移工。 可能很多人想要偏向的孩子或这些议题的时候，会觉得孩子是不是最缺的只有钱？可是其实除了钱之外，可能动机、自信，或者是可能对未来、对自己的一个相信，我觉得那可能是一个更大的问题。这8年，因为我就是跟小朋友打狗狗的约定，所以我大概回去了13次柬埔寨。然后一开始当然看到这些会觉得很无力，然后但是在一路也认识了越来越多拥有不同技能的朋友，我们组成了一个团队，叫做眨眨眼。或许我们可以结合大家各自的专业，去设计出很棒的教案，然后可以从教育这个点来做切入点。或许这个切入点可以是用摄影当成一个 trigger， 然后启发小朋友的动机自信，然后让这些孩子他们可以去想象说，其实他们不只能成为非法的移工，他们在未来还有很多很多不一样的可能性的。过去8年呢，我们去了13次柬埔寨，服务了超过100位偏乡出身的孩子以及青年，也举办了超过10场以上的影像工作坊，以及2次的青年培力工作坊。我们在柬埔寨和台湾举办了5次的实体摄影展，让柬埔寨偏乡孩子的声音可以被更多人听见。一个孩子能不能继续受教育，其实家长的观念也很重要。明年我们会进一步的推出家长讲座的课程，也需要更多的资源投入。那我希望可以邀请大家一起支持眨眨眼，陪伴我们，可以陪孩子走得更长更远。
Once again, although Zhang Wei is not here with us today, thanks for sharing her story with more Taiwanese youth and giving us a great reverence to think, we as youth, what can we do more or share more to make a world a better place for everyone? Now all the panelists has finished their sharing. Once again, a great thanks for all of them, letting us know how they are facilitating the implementation of SDGs. Their feedback and opinion are critical for us to engage more youth and define the approaches in the subsequent COVID-19 response to SDG initiatives. Now, before we wrap up the webinar, I would like to give a big thanks to the International Affairs Division of Secretary of NTC Government by engaged student youth like Tinting and me in the Youth Talents Development Program, involving us in latest city-level COVID response activities to SDGs. Now, please join me to invite Stacy Zhang, the Chief of International Division, for closing remarks for Start From Yourself. Stacy, you have the mic.
Hi, Shuming. Thank you for inviting me. And I would like to thank each and every one of you to organize this webinar. And I think that after today's webinar, I understand that the COVID-19 indeed disrupt some young people's life. But I think through your stories, I understand that this pandemic, this virus, only make our commitment to achieving the SDG even stronger. Okay, so I would like to spend several minutes. I promise I'll be the last one speaking. I'll spend several minutes to introduce you our steps that we are planning to promote SDG this year. First, I want you to know that this webinar is only the beginning. This year, we are going to have more webinars discussing the COVID-19 impacts on our city governance. And I hope that more and more young people will join us. And the second, through all these webinars, discussions, and ideas exchanging, I hope that we can produce or publish a supplement to our voluntary local review this year. And finally, I hope that if this solution, this internship, this summer internship, can work out very better solutions, then we can work with our very dear partner Evercom, and we will try to win over a chance to put this project, to put your work of this summer internship into the UN platform in the future. I hope that we can work together, and I believe there are many, many works we have to do, but I believe we can achieve something because we'll follow your lead. Very young, talented people. Thank you.
Thank you, Stacy, for all the support. We are looking forward to working on COVID-19 response to SDGs with international division, and also showcasing all the influential youth-state SDG initiatives under COVID-19 at United Nations level. Thank you. Also, I would like to take this opportunity to express our appreciation to the frontier warriors. Your selfless contribution to the community is key to helping us get through the pandemic together. Thank you so much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of Start From Yourself. Here, I would like to have a group photo with all of you staying with us till the end of the webinar. Let's wave your hand together. Three, two, one. Okay, well done. Thanks once again for joining. We hope to see you soon. Goodbye.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Excellent work. Excellent.